Hey everyone, it's John here from Hot Take Hockey, back with another video. Gonna talk about this signing and some other stuff. Not just gonna dedicate one video to this, but Simon Benoit, 1-year deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So he played with the Ducks last year. He's not gonna come in and be a big difference maker, at least in terms of puck possession, in terms of creating offense, in terms of moving the puck around. But I'm looking at this signing here, and I mean, Trey Living brought in kind of, I would say, a piece of what he's looking for. The big physicality, a guy that's going to sacrifice in a game. And you know what? He might not make the Leafs out of training camp, but I think there's some potential here of a long-term play. He's only 24 years old, 6'3" defenseman. Everyone's going to look at his plus-minus. I think he was like minus 29 last year. But Simon Benoit, 6'3", as I said. He led the Ducks, I believe, in hits, block shots, or at least was up there. I mean, he was over 200 hits, over 100 blocks, something like that. I mean, I'll pull up the numbers here in a second, but I mean, this is the guy that at $775,000 for 1 year, I mean, there's like zero risk. You send him down to the Marlies, he doesn't go against our veteran rule. He's 24 years old, as I said, so there's some potential. And yeah, I mean, he might be the 7th defenseman on this team. He might be the 8th defenseman on this team. I mean, I just don't want to look at this as like, okay, this guy's going to come in and shake some heads. I do think, I mean, just a quick search on YouTube, you can see that he fought Tom Wilson a couple times. He fought Mason Marchment after a big hit. And, yeah, I mean, there's a couple clips here where it's like Stützle got him pretty good. And, I mean, they might look at this. Benoit might look at this and go, hey, Stützle's in my division now. I'm going to get him back. And, yeah, there's just different things to look at. I mean, there's the Tom Wilson. So, yeah, 216 hits, 128 block shots. Big shout out to Tyler Bertuzzi account here, and big shout out to Kyle Cushman. He's put the Leafs depth chart a few times on Twitter, and Simon Benoit could be like that 8th defenseman, but the Leafs could make a trade. So like a scenario where I see it working, where if the Leafs wanted to trade two of Brody, Liljegren, Timmins, you'd have to bring back a really solid presence into the top 4, and then Benoit gets that promotion, or you just trade one of Liljegren and Timmins, and then you have Benoit as the 7th guy. So say you trade Timmins, Liljegren and Giordano start the year as the 3rd pair. Benoit's next man up. I could see something like that. Again, Benoit's only 24 years old. So also looking at other PTOs around the league or other short signings. Sorry, I mean, Benoit's an actual signing, but I feel like it's going to be similar in this circumstance where Sam Gagner, Brandon Sutter, they're going to be battling for a 4th line spot with the Oilers. We do know Sam Gagner's history with the Oilers, and I think it's pretty cool. And Brandon Sutter, he's trying to make a comeback here. He's trying to bounce back. So Sam Gagner's history, drafted 6th overall by the Oilers in 2007, and now signs a PTO to try to earn a spot with the club. For people that don't know, PTO, professional tryout offer, so or opportunity, and this is the opportunity for Sam Gagner or Brandon Sutter to get a spot. Other news, Austin Watson to Tampa Bay on a PTO. I mean, that would be a perfect fit. I said at the start of the season, or start of the offseason, sorry, that going into the season, Austin Watson for a team like Toronto, a team like Boston, like in the Atlantic Division, Austin Watson, especially former Senator now, it would be a good fit. So I could see Tampa continuing that bite mentality. And I mean, having guys in your bottom 6 like Austin Watson and Tanner Jeannot, and especially after losing Pat Maroon and Corey Perry, you need to replace those guys in some sense. So Austin Watson would do that, and he's a good penalty killer, as Bruce Garrioch outlined. So it's interesting. But going back to the Benoit stuff, I mean, I think the guy might, I don't want to call anyone a bum, but he might be like on that territory for some fans. And I've talked to some Ducks fans already, and like they're on like that lens where it's like, okay, guy's physical, lace hits, block shots, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, he's not a great NHLer. So I could see the guy, I mean, in my opinion, maybe playing 10 to 15 games for the Leafs, being that next man up. But I don't know if he's an everyday NHLer. I have to see him day by day. I saw him a couple times with the Ducks last year when I watched a few Ducks games. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ducks fans or anyone that knows this, I feel like Benoit and Klingberg spent some time together. Klingberg was obviously with the Ducks. I know that he was playing with a depth defenseman for a bit, and I feel like he might have found some time with Benoit. But regardless, I know guys like Benoit and Klingberg, they were well in the minus category for plus-minus. So I look at this situation and I go, okay, the Leafs are trying to get physical. They're trying to get a guy with edge. Benoit doesn't shy away from dropping the gloves and scraps. and can block shots, lay out hits. So if he's a guy that's playing, he can actually be the guy that if he was on the bottom pair can be how Justin Hull should have been utilized with the Leafs. But Benoit can actually hit. So Hull's a better player, 100%. Hull's a better NHLer in terms of like overall ability. But Benoit's only 24, 6 years younger than Hull, and physical. He uses his 6'3" to be physical and actually drop the mitts and can win a fight. So give your thoughts, guys, on the Benoit signing and the PTOs. Brandon Sutter, Sam Gagner to Edmonton, potentially PTO, and Austin Watson PTO. I think that'd be a great signing for Tampa. But Simon Benoit signs the deal with Toronto. So subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. Sorry for the rambling. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.